Hello world, my name's Ciro. I'm going to demonstrate today the real world value in AI, specialized agents. General AI, though impressive, still struggles to meet the mark consistently. That and a handful of awkward software demonstrations may have shaken the public's trust a bit in AI, right? So just taking a look at a few examples from OpenAI's recent search GPT results and even to Google's most recent demos. Now, that being said, when a human is untrained at a specialized task and has to perform, the results may vary there too, as well, right? AI is no different. Context and training are absolutely everything. So how do we create a specialized agent? Well, we start by choosing a model, right? So which model are you going to use to leverage for this task? Now, different models have different strengths. ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Claude Sonnet, all very good with writing and facts and dictation. So that's what we're going to leverage today. We're going to leverage Claude. Next step is clearly define your goal, right? So what results are you looking for? What's the end goal? Gathering the relevant data. What context would you, as an individual, as a human, need to perform these same tasks? Clearly define your agent's persona. So how is your agent going to respond to users? From what standpoint? Who is the agent impersonating? And then clearly, and then special instructions. So special instructions, these could be things like data format, follow-up questions, or maybe even boundaries that you'd like to keep that specific conversation in. So let's take a deeper dive into this guest sentiment agent. All right, so the goal is I want a high-level overview of guest sentiment as it pertains to my business. I want to be able to review relevant data about my business. So for this example, I'm using a single source. It's open and online. It's Google Trends. Google Trends provides some high-level insight into your domain. Right, so anyone can access this. It's Google Trends, google.com/trends. So for today, I'm going to be comparing pizza here in Detroit. So we're going to compare Buddy's Pizza, do a little marketing analysis for them. So when you start with Google Trends here on the home page, essentially all you have to do is plug in the exact topic you're looking for. Now there are other services that are able to provide this data, some at a charge, some for free. I'm using Google Trends because it's free, open source. The downside there is it's a bit lightweight with the amount of data that you're going to find. All right, so for the example, I went ahead and downloaded each of these small exports and dropped them into the project panel. We could also share these, or we could put them in a drive for the large language model to pick up and utilize at a future date. Just point it in the direction of that data. Okay, so persona. For the persona, you really have to be precise here. And the more precise and descriptive you are about what your persona is, the better the result. So for here, not just giving a role, but my definition of what that role is and how that role is expected to respond. So for here, I have an SEM specialist, also known as a search marketing strategist. SEM uses paid strategies to increase brand's visibility in search engine results pages. Additionally, search engine coordinator, SEM coordinates SEM campaign strategies. They also help with creating and optimize ad keywords, research, performance analysis. That's a pretty big persona. And then finally, special instructions. So special instructions are anything that really doesn't fit right in those other categories and really pertains to the output, right? This is where you put the finishing touches on what you would like that end result to be. So here the profession, right, is an SEM specialist, SEM coordinator. Their objective is to create and provide analysis for leadership and buddies. The demonstration should contain a mix of reports, graphs, visual aids. Key topics include creating and optimizing keywords, keyword research, performance analysis, guest reviews, overall guest sentiment. So it's a mouthful. We're expecting a lot. Personality traits, the tone. That's energetic, compassionate, optimistic. Communication style. Now, for communication style, this can vary. For this example, I wanted to keep it, high level, but have a depth of actionable insight to it. So I left the communication styles formal, C-suite, executive leadership. Interaction, if user asks, this is a special instruction that I'd like to happen within an interaction. If user asks to drill down, provide sources and links for data requested. Right, so not to take the language model on that face value, everything you say is accurate. If I'm asking you to drill down, I want you to show me the specifics. And then finally, interaction closure, right? So the conversation won't go on forever. Essentially bookend, what you do is you leave, ask if the user has any additional questions, any follow-up, anything further that can be reviewed. So with those items in place, now I'm going to head on down to Claude. Okay, now this project could have been completed in Microsoft Copilot in the same fashion. Within Copilot's infrastructure, this would be known as a skill. You can, with Claude as well, you can take these specific skills and then chain them together to have one agent that can perform many tasks that are specialized. But for this example right now, we're sticking with guest sentiment. All my previous chats with the AI have been recorded and I've saved them here. At the end of this video, I'll be sharing this project with anyone who'd like to go ahead and try the same thing or further refine. So here we are. This is we'll start with the projects page. You'll start off with an empty project. You head up here to create project. I've already created the project, and we'll go ahead and walk through the items created here. Right, so we have our text window. Right, this will hold your previous chats. We can add content to the conversation. Additionally, you can change models right throughout, and then these same instructions would still apply. So we have our special instructions, right? They're going to be listed right here, custom instructions. And this is where we put that professional role, the objective, right? Really refining what the output's going to be. Now here we have our relevant data. And these are the CSVs downloaded directly from Google. Also could be sent to a drive and then picked up by your AI or large language model solution at that point. But for this example, I just dragged and dropped. It was a couple of small small CSVs. To give you an example of what that data looks like, the structure does not have to be very detailed or cleaned. This is the data as it was received, right, from Google, no additional manipulation. Aside from that data directly from Google, only other item we have here is the SEM specialist role, just so it has that reference point and it knows what that role is. Very important. Okay. So we have data. We have a goal. Oops, There we go. We have data, we have our goal, we have our special instructions. So now it's time to go ahead and interact with the agent. Okay, so how can Claude help you today? So let's see. How is the overall sentiment for Buddy's Pizza? Question mark. Let's see what we get. So here we have code being written so that this can be reused, maybe on a another solution, or possibly embedded into a website, or then reused for next conversation. When you're having chats, each of the kind of components that are created are saved within the chat, and you can reference at a later date. And so what we have here is just kind of an overall sentiment for buddies. We've got some positive, some negative. So positive sentiment, 39.47, neutral, 60.5, negative 0. Key observations, no negative sentiment, right? A strong neutral sentiment, and significant positive sentiment. Well, this is okay, but I think we can get more here. So let's dig in here. Let's drill down further into sentiment. Now we're talking. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. All right, so what we have here, right? So a deeper dive in guesstimate and sentiment analysis, right? Sentiment distribution, temporal trends, source analysis, right? Key positive mentions, neutral mentions, social media present, and then insight and recommendation. All fantastic data, easily and readily available, but maybe I want more. Maybe I want to take a look at how do we stack against the competition. So just do that. Now I'll compare. How do we compare to competitors? Okay, main competitor is Cottage Inn Pizza, another local. And look at that. So what we have is an analysis of the search interest of each of the chains, breaking down by about 2-week period, kind of reviewing that sentiment as it flows. Let's take a look at what an insight it gave us here. Special interest comparison. Overall, Cottage Inn tends to have slightly higher search interest than Buddy's. There are periods where Buddy's Pizza outperforms Cottage's, such as early August. Buddies has a stronger presence in some out-of-market states. So now we're taking a look at the market as a whole, right? By taking a look at your competition, we're pulling data and comparison data for your organization as an enterprise, right? This isn't a one specific cluster of data, and this isn't data that's already been provided. This is data that the language model had to go find to provide that comparison. Taking a look, we have breakdown of keywords for your competitor and additional recommendations. All right, let's see if we can dig even deeper. All right, so with no additional context, let's see. How do we compare? Well, how do we compare in my hometown? How do we compare in the state of Michigan? In Michigan. Let's see what we got. Breaking down the cities and the sentiment. And then providing us strategy and then actionables. All right, so we have menu localization, competitive marketing, digital marketing focus, targeted expansion, local SEO optimization. This is a wealth of data that could be actioned upon or further analyzed and reviewed. And bear in mind, this came from a very high-level source of Google Trends. If your organization were to provide more comprehensive data from a source maybe like SimilarWeb or other SEMrush, other services dedicated to providing rich contextual information regarding your domain, the results could be, well, will be even more comprehensive. All right, so that being said, my goal here today was to inspire you, right? To give you a peek into the art of the possible by demonstrating real-world examples. With training and refinement, personalization to your business needs, specialized agents can deliver best-in-class results, period. Took a poll earlier this week where I asked LinkedIn what I should build, and the result was a tie between guest sentiment agent and HR agent. So next week, I'll be building an HR agent.